Now from here, the buying starts to slow down. We start to get aggressive selling. Now here's where things get very interesting, right? Where you can see how prices now started to come down from this supply, and we understand aggressive sellers kick in at this level, right? So from here now, the volume kicks up towards the bottom and we see aggressive selling towards the bottom of the candle. We do have some aggressive buying, but we see aggressive selling, right? Down here as well, we see 0 and 16, right? 14 and 0, right? So when we see a 0 on the right represents the ask. Remember that. The right represents the ask. And the thing to understand is that when you have 0 market participants hitting the ask, that means you have no aggressive buying. You only have aggressive selling. If you look at this candle over here, what's very interesting is that you have a red candle over here, right? So this now is a red candle. This is at, I believe this is 10 a.m. Eastern time, right? So this candle over here, this 10 a.m. Eastern candle, if we just zoom into this candle and look at what's happening from an order flow perspective, from a footprint perspective, we understand that this candle here had a lot of its volume down here towards the bottom, and the majority of the volume was actually aggressive selling. The reason you can see aggressive selling is, yes, you can read the actual footprint chart itself, and you can read the fact that it's 391 by 233, 91 by 34, 319 by 107. So you can see that the volume is high at the bottom, but you can also see with the red over here that aggressive sellers were active at this zone, right? Aggressive sellers were being active. And the most interesting thing I want people to understand now is that these aggressive sellers, despite all of their effort to push the market down, price ultimately broke through this zone, right? Price broke through this zone, as you can see, right? So this is what validates our demand zone, right? Think about this. We're at a demand zone, right? Let's just go back to the chart itself. When we're at a demand zone like this, let's see this, right? When you're at a demand zone like this, and you see aggressive buyers coming in, and you see the aggressive sellers kick in and try to push price down, right? So you had aggressive sellers in this region over here. This is where sellers were incredibly aggressive, as you can see with the footprint chart, right? Sellers were very aggressive at this point, right? So again, this is this price action over here. Sellers were very aggressive over here, very